certainly the problem we have. And we've seen numbers go up consistently in hospitalizations. It's always a lagging indicator, but the sense is that with Omicron, things move a little quicker than they did with the prior iterations of COVID. And I've been saying, I guess, really for a month about Omicron is that I suspect we're going to start to see some hospital failures and system failures around the country. And I still expect that we're going to see that as a function of the Omicron surge. I mean, it is everywhere. In New York, it's completely nuts right now. In Florida, apparently, there were thousands of teachers who were out because of illness yesterday, as well as students. I know this is the case. I've got 2 kids who go to public school in New York City, and their class size is about half of what it normally is. My son, his teacher is out. His principal is out. My daughter says that there are teachers and students out. And I gave my daughter the option of going to school or not. And it was really on the, and just for this week. Or not the entire week, but I mean, just the past couple of days, I should say. Today in Chicago, public school officials canceled classes because they're having a fight with the teachers union, whose members had threatened to stay home to force instruction online during this surge because Chicago is not providing the safety protocols that the teachers feel that they need. They have a shortage of tests. They don't have universal vaccination rate amongst the students. There's a bunch of staff members calling in sick. And what we're seeing in the media and in other quarters is this unbelievable reaction to what's going on in Chicago. Let me be clear. My son's in there today. He's got a substitute teacher. Half the kids are missing. He's not learning anything. The teacher's going to have to, when the teacher comes back, the teacher's going to have to go back over this. I mean, this is not he's not in there for education at this point. He's in there because, I feel particularly in his school, he's going to be safe. And I got nowhere else to put him. I could sit him in this office right now and he'd be sitting there watching, something on YouTube or something. But that's the bottom line. The point is that when you have teachers out sick, this many, and when you have this many students who are not coming in because their parents are worried about COVID, or maybe they have COVID, or maybe the kids have COVID, there's no education going on in these schools. So let's be honest here with why we want these schools opened at this moment, or not remote. That is because there are people out there who want there to be business, who want business to take place. They want to get into work or whatever. They want to deal with it. This is not anybody who's out there saying right now that you can't keep kids home from school, this week when there's a surge going on, which everyone predicts is going to be short-lived because of the nature of this variant. And they're talking about education. They're full of it. Here is not necessarily Exhibit A, but one of the exhibits. Play this. This is Morning Joe.
If you don't want to teach, don't teach. Yeah. Quit. Just stay at home and stop teaching children, okay? Because when you set up that barrier to getting back to class, when healthcare officials say that you can still do testing positive 30 days.
Hold on for a second. Pause it. It sounds weird to me. It sounds almost like Joe's not in a studio. Like he's in a more makeshift studio, it sounds like. Because the sound isn't quite as dead as it is when he's in studio. And why is there that bar in between the two of them? I mean, give me a break. None of these people are in studio. Give me a break. I wonder why that might be. Continue.
Well, you obviously, if that's your standard, you're either ignorant when it comes to science, or you just don't want to be in classes. And if you don't want to be in classes, that's fine. Listen, thank you for your service to our children. Now go get another job.
So in response to the...
I mean, this is just absurd. Yeah, teachers, they don't want to teach. They go in it for the lucrative pay and the respect that they get from society. I mean, it really is unbelievable. Going through a surge that like we haven't seen before, really. I mean, maybe since the very beginning. All of the schools probably should have been remote this week. They should have anticipated it. But the idea that this is about, teaching the kids. No, it's not. It's about warehousing the kids for a couple of days. And, it's perfectly reasonable that some people might say, I'm a little concerned about catching COVID. Maybe the chances of me dying are not as high as they were. We're not sure about long haul.
Maybe we should raise taxes on people like Joe Scarborough so we can pay teachers more for the hazard that they're putting themselves in.
That's one way of doing it. Maybe we could put more resources into it. Maybe we could pay for people to stay at home during this week so that we wouldn't have this intense need to warehouse the kids. I mean, and believe me, I want my kids at school. I want my kids at school so that I'm not sitting on the couch here, but I want my kids at school because I want them to learn. So I'm sensitive to this issue. But I have no idea what's going on in Chicago schools. And I can see the difference between what's going on in my son's school and my daughter's school. And that's in the same school system. So it's really sort of stunning to watch. And really, in many respects, this is a failure of the Biden administration in not being aggressive enough in getting tests into the hands of people, not setting protocols. We should be testing far more people as they go in. People should be there should be tests everywhere. Like candy bars. It should be to get a test in this country.